Hello, everybody. We're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and I got a brand new guest for you guys today. It's Yard Sales and Dreams. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience in case they don't know who you are.
Okay, I'm Danielle. I do an eBay business part-time out of my home, and I've been doing that for about 16, 17 years now. And also my husband, goes along with that. He has a full-time job, but we do a lot of hunting and yard selling and stuff like that together. And he's a big part of the business, but he's a lot of times behind the scenes. He doesn't want to be any part of my YouTube channel. So you might catch a glimpse of him here and there, but for the most part, it's just me doing the channel. But yeah, I've been selling part-time on eBay for quite a long time now. And I do have a part-time job that I work 2 days a week outside of doing this. I actually have a wonderful job. I sit with my cousin that has CP, and he's a great kid. He's 25, but I still call him a kid. And he actually enjoys getting out and going to the thrift stores and stuff with me. So it's really fun working with Frank.
Okay, awesome. And you live in Kentucky. I don't know exactly where, but I know you live somewhere in Kentucky. Is it an eastern part or southern part? What part do you live at?
We live in the northern part of Kentucky. We're only about 30 minutes from Cincinnati.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I lived in Louisville for like 30 years, so I knew you lived in Kentucky somewhere, but I wasn't exactly too sure. So you don't live too far from Cincinnati, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, so when the reseller rally happened, we didn't actually get tickets to go on the boat, but we did the Friday night hangout with them at the hotel lobby. So that was really fun.
Okay, well that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to make it up there. I'll have to catch the next one. So,
Yeah.
so you've been reselling now for 16 years. Kind of tell us a little bit how and why you got started into reselling. Because some people get started into reselling because they need to make the money, but to you, it's almost like a passion for you. Like you like finding old vintage items and kind of saving them from the landfill, right? So tell us a little bit about your story of how you got started into reselling.
So many years ago, actually, we just celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary. And so we started our eBay business a few months before that. So me and my husband together opened our eBay account. And actually two of the first things, I can't remember which one came first. There was a little figural bird called a stangle bird, and another thing that was a lunchbox. And I believe it was a Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox. But my husband we had went to this auction. He had found it at a town like really close to us. So went to this auction, found a couple things, and yard sales have always been a part of both my life and my husband's life. But, living in the area that we live in, yard sales just happen a lot during the summer. And so my mom and his mom were picking up those things early on, like, things for your kitchen, things to get by, clothes for your kids, shoes for your kids, things like that.
Right.
So fast forward to when me and my husband started our eBay business, we kind of just got into it as a little hobby because, we just found eBay to be interesting. For one thing, you were hearing people could sell things that, a potato chip that had a face on it and this other weird stuff. So naturally, we went to check it out, went online, checked out eBay, thought it was kind of cool, and just realized that there were a lot of things in our area that we could buy and we could try to flip them for some money. And it was a fun hobby for the both of us.
Okay, awesome. So you were able to find some items and you started flipping and reselling it. So how is reselling on eBay different when you first got started, 16 years ago as opposed to today? It's like night and day difference, right?
Yes. Now I do all my listing just about on my phone. And back then we not only we were dealing with the modem dial-up internet. Okay. It was 2004. So yeah, we were dealing with, the slow process of getting online to list an item probably took you 40 to 45 minutes because of the area we were in. I don't know about your internet in Florida in the early 2000s, but ours here in the northern part of Kentucky was pretty slow. So to get something listed and To get it up there probably took you 30 to 40 minutes. I'm not kidding. And then, we did all auctions to start with. I talk about this sometimes. I'm sure we like gave to the Goodwill or threw out or took to the yard sale some things that were pretty good because we were giving those things a chance for a 7-day auction. And if it didn't sell, we kind of put it on the shelf to get rid of, So 7 days is not a long time for someone to discover your item out there in the world, So that's one thing. I love to buy it now. That's came along. That used to not be an option back then. The summary or the business page that eBay rolled out several years ago, that's been a game changer. We had none of that kind of data before. That helped the growth of our channel, just to know this information instead of trying to figure it out on your own or to try to statistically figure things out,
Yeah.
So the growth of eBay and the internet has helped us a lot.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when they had that old dial-up where if you guys weren't around back then, you had to like connect it to your phone line in your house. And we used to have that old like AOL internet. It was like, and it's like, it was like, yeah. And I remember causing so many fights and arguments when we were younger because my sister, we didn't have cell phones back then. So she always wanted to be on the home phone talking on the phone. And we always wanted to be on the internet. So it was like back and forth arguments all the time between who got to use the phone line to talk and then who got to use the phone line for the internet. And it was always as you can imagine, it was this big argument back in the day.
Yeah, because they canceled one another out. If you were on the phone talking, then that kicked whoever was on the internet off.
You're right. So the technology wasn't like 100% there. It wasn't like broadband back in the day. If you Google dial-up internet or AOL internet, you'll know what we're talking about. But let's say hello here to a few people. I wanted to say hey to Jennifer Hayes. I don't know if she's still here in the chat, but today is Jennifer's birthday. I dropped a link. I dropped a link in the chat if you guys want to support Jennifer Hayes and buy her a milkshake or show her some support. I did earlier today. ATL Flipper is here in the chat. Wanted to say hey to Sal's HQ is here. It says, hey, eBay Addicts and Yard Sales and Dreams. And I wanted to say hey to Carter P is in the chat. Hey, Carter P.
Carter P.
So what are some of the places that you like going sourcing at right now? Do you do a lot of like flea markets and yard sales, and do you go to antique stores? Because I know you said where you live at is kind of a little bit out to the country a little bit, like it's kind of out in the sticks. So where are some of the places that you like to go sourcing at? Because we have a different like business model, because I sell like a high velocity of items, and I think your average sell price is like $40-$50. Like it's a higher margin, right?
Yeah. So I'm one of these people, like I have less listed, and I try to be a little bit picky about what I'm listing and make sure it's worth my time and effort and that. Because I'm doing this part-time, I have to make sure that it's worth my while putting on. And I generally sit at about 250 listings. And right now I was like looking back at my 90-day, just what it shows you on your phone. So I have like 60 things sold in the past 90 days, 230, I think, listed right now. But back, like, you get out of it what you put into it. You know what I mean? Back in the wintertime, we had like, I think 350 listings. And I don't know if you went back and watched any of that, but I bought a storage unit that had a lot of toys and that in it from this estate. It was like an estate sale clean out. So the guy took the stuff from the estate that he was rehabbing and then put it in the storage unit. He actually let us like hand pick what we wanted. And then we brought it back, filled our basement up, and then we just had a heck of a time listing and stuff in the wintertime. And we sold a lot, and we made a lot of money this past winter. But right now it's kind of, it's summertime. My kids are really into disc golf. They're playing tournaments on the weekends and stuff. And we go watch them play. A couple weeks ago, I've got this shirt on, but a couple of weeks ago, there was a disc golf open at Idlewild, in a park called Idlewild, and a lot of the disc golf pros were here. So we went and all watched that as a family. So that was really fun. And so, family takes up a lot of time, and they are what comes first for me. And this is kind of like side hustle money for us. And, we just don't do more than we can.
Yeah. How did your vacation go? Because I think I messaged you. It might have been a couple weeks ago or a month or so ago. I was trying to reach out to you because you were like really close to hitting 1,000 subscribers and you hit it. And I was like, hey, let me reach out to Danielle to see, because I don't know if you probably didn't know who I was at the time, but I was like, hey, let me reach out to Danielle to see if we can help you, because you were like at like 950, 945, and you hit your 1,000 subscribers. And I reached out to you and you were like, hey, I'm on vacation. I'll talk to you later when I get back into town. So how did your vacation go with you and your family? And congratulations on hitting 1,000 subscribers, because I know what that's like going from 0 to 1,000.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun. I know some of my earlier videos are terrible, but it's been fun getting to that 1,000 mark. But yeah, we were actually on a camping trip and my service was really spotty. We were on a camping trip like down in the southern part of Kentucky. And anytime we go camping, like we have a trailer, like a travel trailer. And anytime we go camping, it's kind of hit or miss whether you're going to have Wi-Fi or not. But you can guarantee that we're going to be staying someplace that is near a disc golf course.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I was watching one of your videos, and you have like one of those. You had one set up on your property now, right? Like, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Explain a little bit about it. Is it like frisbee golf, or explain a little bit about it, because I'm not an expert. So explain a little bit about how that works.
A lot of people call it frisbee golf, and what it is that it's the same premises of golf rules, ball golf as they call it. So there's a disc that's heavier than the frisbee that you and I think of. It's a heavier weight, and they're different weights to them. But what your goal is to basically shoot your disc at this basket, and they have pars, just like on the disc or just like on a regular golf course, a hole might be a par 3. So you might drive your disc and then you're going to throw your putter twice to get there to get your par. And so me and my husband had bought 5 of these baskets on the side of the road. I don't even know, right before COVID. So with the help of my sons making some other baskets, my husband and my kids set up an 18-hole course here on my husband's family farm. So yeah, it's been really fun. COVID turned me into a YouTuber, and it turned them into disc golfers.
Okay. Yeah, you're really like an outdoor person. Like when I watch you, you're always like your channel, you're always outdoors doing something. Yeah. Like I'm always indoors, unless when I'm in my car. So when you're out there, you're outside. You do a lot of you hit up a lot of yard sales, garage sales, things like that.
Yes, I don't know if I touched on that earlier with the question. I feel like I kind of got off the rails. But yeah, yard sales are my favorite. They're my favorite place to source. And we have a lot of yard sales through the season. When the yard sale season is, I typically don't go to a lot of thrift stores until it's out of the season for yard sales. So we do have, about 5 or 6 in like a 15, 20 mile radius of here. So those are some of the ones that I typically hit. Occasionally I'll go across the river to Cincinnati and hit up a couple that I've learned about through like Shad Juice and stuff. There's a couple of huge thrift stores over there called Valley Thrift. And we really like to hit those up in the wintertime and stuff. But we had an antique store here, and I used to kind of like to go through it because not everybody always is selling their stuff for what it's going to go for on the internet. So I used to like to go through there. They opened in 98 and they just closed their doors last month. So that's not going to be an option anymore. And I don't know where all of those vendors went with all of their stuff, but it was a huge antique mall over in Florence, Kentucky. And so it's no longer going to be an option in the winter. So I guess I'll just have to seek out more thrift stores.
Yeah, there were a lot of small businesses, mom and pop stores that didn't make it during the whole lockdown, because I mean, people were in their homes, and if you're depending solely on foot traffic and the foot traffic is zero, it's kind of hard to stay in business and still pay your overhead expenses and pay your employees and keep the lights on. So I saw a lot of small mom and pop businesses and stuff that they turned the lights off and it didn't come back on, so that's the beauty of having an online business where we have no overhead, and besides like your $20 a month fee for your eBay store and no employees, is that you can kind of make it through the storm, so to speak. So what are some cool or vintage items that you've come across lately that you've picked up, either to resell or that you're just like, hey, this is cool, I want to keep that?
I'll tell you about a sale. I've been making a video about it slowly. I kind of shot some footage of it when I first got it. I did some footage of me like trying to comp them out because I didn't know what this was. But I had went to a yard sale last Friday, and this is not really vintage. But this was just a no-brainer. So go to this yard sale, and the lady said that she was working at a radio station, and they were getting rid of a bunch of inventory. So she said, I went down and got this inventory, and if I wasn't going to go get it and put it in my yard sale, they were going to put it in the trash. So I bought this thing called I think it's called a Clean Box Pro. And she had 25 cents on these things. Okay. I had no idea what it was, but something new in the package that's electronic, I'm going to buy it for 25 cents. Okay. So there was 11 of them. And so that was Friday. I listed them on Saturday, and to date, I've sold each one of them. So I had 11. I listed 10. So I made $500 this week because I've sold each one of them for $50. But what I did was I went in with my, when I comped them out, these things were selling for like $65 with shipping, up to $100 with shipping. So I thought, I'm going to come in there like a little smooth, little eagle or whatever, and sell mine for $50 and leave all the rest of them in the dust. So
an eagle. I was going to say a vulture.
I was trying to think of the stealth plane.
Right. Okay, cool. It's cool. Let me say hello to a few people in the chat. I wanted to say hey to the Hoogs are here. Connor and Desiree, I hope you guys are doing well. Wanted to say hey to LKL Graphics. Keith is in the chat. Sal's HQ is here. The Flippin' Sports guy says, woohoo, a hangout at the bar. Now we're talking. I told him this is happy hour here today. Yeah. And we have Carter P is here in the chat. Says happy birthday, Jennifer. And Sal's HQ says, when I was a kid during the AOL modem connection years, my first phone was a Boost Mobile. And it says, where you at? Yeah, I know, right? And I wanted to say hey to the HL Flipper. Hey, Dumpster Diver Dad is here in the house. Hey, Dumpster Diver Dad. If you guys have questions for our guests, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So, Danielle, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about do you have any tips or tricks or advice? Because you've been reselling for 16 years now. What would be like some piece of advice or pointers that stand out to you? Because I know earlier you talked about because you kind of have limited time and you're kind of doing reselling part-time while still, spending time with your family and traveling and doing other things. So to you, it doesn't make sense for you to list a $10, $15 item. Well, most of the items you said you list are like $40, $50 items, or it's like higher ticket items because it's got to be worth your time to list that item for you, right? Because you don't have a ton of free time. Like you're cooking dinner, you're doing a lot of stuff in the house too, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I guess what I can say to that is, just be selective when I'm at these yard sales. I mean, there's certainly, and I've got a few comments on my videos like, why didn't you pick that up? That'll sell for $20, $25. And, and that's all good, but I'm not going to pay $5 for something that's going to sell for $25. And you got the eBay fees, like you say. So you just have to be selective. There's a lot of things that I've learned over the years, like that's just up here and that it won't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like the things that you should pick up, the things you shouldn't pick up. And it just comes with trial and error. There are a list of things that I could make. Like I would stay away from that. It's not really worth your time, but just trust your gut. And, if you've got the time, I don't sit there and look up everything at a yard sale on my phone. I don't have that kind of time. And I enjoy yard selling so much. I don't want to be sitting there looking at my phone the whole time. So I do trust my gut a lot. And I end up with a lot of stuff that we don't list on eBay. Hence the 127 sale that we do. So you have to have some outlet, whether it's just going to be that you're okay with donating the stuff that you pick up, that you look up and you find, yeah, that's not really worth my time. So you have to have an outlet for that stuff, whether it be, some people have antique booths that they put a lot of that kind of stuff in. And like some people are just fine donating it back to Goodwill or a St. Vincent de Paul or whatever's in your area, But for me, we have a building that we can, we can go on our, we have this building on our property that we can go with the stuff that, wasn't quite suitable for eBay. So yeah, my tip is just if you're gonna buy things that you're not really sure about, which is what you need to do for trial and error, have a place to get rid of those things, have an outlet.
Yeah, what I notice is like the more that because you've been doing it for over 16 years, but like the more that you buy and sell stuff, it's like you'll have like, I don't know if it's like a bookmark. You'll remember stuff that you sold in the past. So if I'm at a pawn shop or thrift store, yard sale, I'll be like, hey, I remember that Nintendo Wii video game. It's here for $1.50, and I sold that on eBay for $50 because you've come across it so often, and like, hey, this is a $50 item. Though this video game here may only be a $10 item because you bought and sold it before, so you don't even have to sit here and look at sold comps. But so that's just going to come with experience. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about your sale. I know we touched on it earlier, but you were at that 127 sale and you had like a booth set up. Tell us how you did doing that.
Yeah, so we've been doing that for like 8 or 9 years now, and that place is so awesome. We're under 2 huge oak trees. We take our travel trailer over there, set it up. We have a large enough space. We actually rent 2 spaces from the guy that's in charge over there. And there are actually like 40 or 50 vendors set up all the way around the church. They have an air-conditioned bathroom. They sell food and drinks. It's amazing. We rent a U-Haul. That's one expense that we have there, along with the fee for setting up at the booth, which is only $20 a day for the spot. And we get a double spot, and we're there for 3 days. So it all comes out to be like 90 or $100, I think, for what we're being charged. And then you got the cost of the U-Haul. But then, if you're making $1,000 a day or more for those 3 days, it's very much worth your time, worth my time. So yeah, we enjoy that so much that I like talking to the people. Like we talk to so many people all over the country, and it's just a highlight of the summer for me. Like it's a lot of work, I just turned 40, actually 41 last year, and it is a lot of work, and it is increasingly becoming a little harder, to pack all that stuff. It's essentially like moving somebody's whole house, and doing it twice in one weekend, because we load up like on a Wednesday, and then we have to unload all this stuff, like the tables and the everything that's involved on a Sunday, Yeah.
Tell people how long. Tell them how many miles that yard sale is at 127. Tell them how big it is.
It runs from like Michigan. So it runs from Michigan to Florida. So it's like 600 miles.
Yeah. I was going to say it's like 600 something miles all the way there for the full length of it. So it sounds like
we used to shop it. We used to shop.
Oh yeah.
But we never got out of our region because just shopping it for the whole weekend, you don't make it that far because there's so many sales.
Right. Well, it sounds like you had a good time. You got to meet a lot of people, and you made a lot of sales there. And the cool thing is when you sell stuff locally is you didn't have to pay eBay fees. You didn't have to worry about taking photographs. You don't have to worry about shipping. It's just like, here you go. Here's your item, So
right.
Let me say hello to a few people in the chat. I wanted to say hey to the January houses here. It says, hey, Jeff and Danielle. I wanted to say hey to Jennifer Hayes is here. She dropped your link in the chat. Today is Jennifer Hayes' birthday, guys. So everybody say happy birthday to Jennifer Hayes. I wanted to say hey to the Cap guy is here. And he says, hey, Jeff, YardSales and Dreams. And Maggie Doodles Thrift Shop says, hey, do you do any sort of bulk buying?
No, the biggest bulk buy that I've ever done was, like I said, picking through that storage unit this past winter. I don't typically have enough space to, buy a storage unit. I'm certainly not one of the, I've seen other YouTubers and resellers that do buy these boxes and have this stuff delivered to their house, but there's just, I don't know. I have too much inventory for that, and I have too much enjoyment out of going out there and searching this stuff out myself, really to buy in bulk like that.
Yeah, well, if you're coming in late, Danielle, she does reselling part-time, and I think you said you only have about 250 items like listed in her store. So she sells a lot of higher ticket items. Like her average sell price is like around $50. Whereas me, I have like, I think 6,500 items that are active, and I sell a high velocity of items. So I don't have a big truck or a trailer, and so I don't have like a big U-Haul. I don't have a big truck or trailer to haul stuff. So I don't buy pallets or storage units, but I go out and get wholesale lots of merchandise. So let's say if I'm selling CDs, for example, I'll order 1,000 CDs for $400, and it shows up at my door, and I'm paying 40 cents a piece. And like, for example, today, I just sold a CD today for $18. So, I mean, when you're turning around and reselling stuff and you're getting merchandise that's brand new in the shrink wrap and you're selling it between $15 and $20 a piece, and you're getting it less than 50 cents a piece, and it arrives at your door, it makes sense for me to do that. And I'll buy CDs or DVDs or Blu-rays in bulk, because when you buy stuff in bulk, you get stuff at a cheaper discount. And also I do a high bid as well. So if you guys get a chance, you can check out local auctions on high bid, and you can sometimes get really good deals there. I mean, a couple months ago, I bought it was like 400 or 500 DVDs for like $97. So my average buy cost was like less than a quarter a piece. So you're turning your you're turning your $97 into like $4,000 to $5,000 worth of merchandise for 10 minutes worth of work. You show up, you pick the merchandise up. Well, I shouldn't say 10 minutes, 10 minutes of driving there and back, and then just sitting at home listing them. And some of them that are the same SKU and same model, you would just type in quantity of 40 or 50 or however many of them you have. It doesn't take that long to list. So January House says, happy 24th birthday, Jennifer Hayes.
Oh, I think she looks 24.
Oh, for sure. I wanted to say hey to the Nitchy Seller is here. Says, hey, host, guests, and everybody. Hey, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. LKL Graphics is here in the house. Dumpster Diver Dad. I wanted to say hey to Twin Pillars is here. Mom's Closet Texas Christy is here.
Hey.
Cap Guy, Dumpster Diver Dad. If you guys have questions for our guests, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about you like to travel. Before we had this whole lockdown, you guys like to travel a lot. You have plans in the future of traveling again anytime soon?
We're going to Nashville in September. But we're going there for a disc golf tournament. But we'll be staying at the campground, and leading up to the weekend is when the tournament is. But we, before disc golf, it's funny you say that, before COVID, before disc golf, before I had my YouTube channel, we would go on these camping, and we go camping a lot. Like most of our vacations are camping vacations, or at campgrounds, that kind of thing. That's just like what we like to do. And before we spent so much time at the disc golf courses, we spent a lot of time hiking, just doing things outdoors that, different places had to offer. But hiking and just being outside is what we like to do. But yeah.
Okay, awesome. Hey guys, we're live. We got about 17 people in the chat. I don't normally do this, but if you guys would go support our guest, all her links are going to be in the description down below for YouTube and Instagram. And also Flippy McFlipperson, Evan, if you guys don't know him, he's like 4 subscribers away from 1,000. I have his link listed in the community section. So if you guys can help him get him monetized, he's only 4 subscribers away. So if you don't know Flippy McFlipperson, Evan, he lives in South Carolina and he's a full-time reseller, but go show him some support. I have the links in the community section, or Jennifer or somebody in the chat can drop his link. He only needs 4 more subscribers and he'll be at 1,000. And I really want to help him get monetized because he's a full-time reseller. But anyways, let me say hello here real quick to Simply Dana is in the chat. I wanted to say hey to Gravity Goods. He says, hey, everybody. Danielle and Jeff and Jennifer Hayes is here. Simply Dana and January House. So what is your thoughts going forward with your reselling business? Are you thought about maybe expanding and growing your store? Or because I know you have I guess we would call it a death pile. You have some unlisted inventory that you haven't listed yet. So what is your thoughts about your reselling business? What do you guys have, like a storage unit or a garage that you store most of your merchandise in, or how do you go about doing that?
So we keep a lot of the things that are like temperature sensitive up here in our basement, which is my little listing area is right over here. That's why I'm pointing that way. But we also have like a 24 by 48 building right next door to our house that we actually can keep some other things at, like overflow stuff. So the majority of like the things that didn't go to the sale, like some of my best stuff that I wanted to keep, that's in my death pile because we had to go through everything. That kind of stuff is set back for me to list this fall and winter, in along with whatever else I get through the end of this yard sale season. But basically, I forgot where I was going with this. So we have the building when we need the overflow. But right now we just do a lot of things out of our basement. The building actually gets a little bit of water in it, and we kind of need to solve that issue before we do a lot of things down there. And doesn't have electric yet. And so I think that this is a good pace for me right now. I think that if something ever happened with the part-time job that I have now, working with my cousin, I'm not going to go seek employment anywhere else. Reselling is where it's at for me. Like I would pick up, with reselling then. I certainly wouldn't have a problem being a full-time reseller at that point. But at this point, the 2 days a week that I am away from home, they they need me there, and I'm okay with that. I do enjoy shopping for this stuff and selling it, but yeah, I'm just comfortable where I'm at right now. I hate to say that because it sounds like, I don't have any plan for growth, but I don't know.
Well,
it's not order, and I know things are going to change in the next 3 or 4 years for me. So I just don't know. We kind of live it day by day, and this is working right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not that you don't have any plans for growth. I think it's just that you're trying to spend time with your family because, your kids are and, you'll come.
Yeah. Things change fast enough. Things change fast enough in life as it is. So I'm not about to try to push any changes, Oh no.
Yeah. My internet is freezing up for some reason. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I the only one here? Okay. Hey. I don't think I ever asked you what part of Florida that you're in, Jeff.
Tampa, Florida. So I don't live too far from roots. So I run into them occasionally, not that often, maybe every once in a while I'll like a reseller meetup, but I live in Tampa, Florida, just north of Tampa, Florida. So it's nice here year round, sometimes in the wintertime, because I still have family in Kentucky, and I'll send them photos, and it's December, January, and I'm wearing shorts, flip-flops, and a t-shirt, and it's 80 degrees here for Christmas. So I kind of like it here just just because of the weather, and you could go to the beach. There's a lot of people that go down here to Clearwater and St. Pete, and anytime I want to go to the beach, I can just hop in the car and I'll be there in 30 minutes. So it's nice to be able to go to the beach and have a nice warm weather. And my mom and my sister both live down here in Florida. So earlier, we were talking about how you want to spend time with your kids. I have 2 little nephews, and I know it won't be long. They're going to be teenagers, and they're not going to want to hang out with Uncle Jeff anymore. They're going to want to be going to hang out with their friends or spend time with their girlfriends or go out to dinner at a movie. They're not going to want to hang out with Uncle Jeff, So I definitely understand when you're just like, you have to kind of balance, your work-life balance. You can't work all the time. You got to spend time with your family as well, because they only grow up once, and then once they grow up, they're not going to be kids. They're not going to want to go play hide and go seek or Marco Polo at the pool or something, or go to the beach and hang out with you. They'll be too cool for school, So hey, Danielle,
mine are 13 and 15. Mine are 13 and 15, so they're already taller than me, and all that stuff that makes you cry when you're a parent.
Yeah, I don't have any kids of my own right now. I just got two nephews, and I try to go by and visit them on the weekends and whenever they don't have school and stuff. They have all this energy, how it is. They just take off. They're full blast, So, but they're a lot of fun to hang out with. So Danielle, tell everybody where they can go by and find you and check you out on YouTube and Instagram. I have all your links listed down below.
Okay, yeah. So I don't have a Facebook. I only have Instagram. That's my social media, and I'm on YouTube, YardSales and Dreams. I don't have. Well, let's see. Yeah, I don't have I had a Twitter account at one time, but I don't think that's active anymore. But I was going to say, I'm very jealous of the fact that you live in Florida and that you can just go to the beach right down the road. So one of my best sales, or one of my best finds, was like an exciting find. It was some old underwear that I found in Florida that looked like it was basically new out of the package, hanging on a rack in a thrift store. And the great thing is that right before I walked in the thrift store, my husband's like, honey, think small, because he stayed in the car with the kids because they were just like, not another thrift store. So I go in there, and these 3 pair of granny panties is what I call them. Were just hanging there, and it was just incredible. I got them home, and I sold all 3 of them for like $600 total, off of $1.50 each that they were in the thrift store. So,
wow,
it was an exciting sale for me, and that was back in 2012, and that was in a thrift store in Ocala. We had been staying with some family and on vacation, and so we were in the Ocala area, and that was a pretty memorable thrift find for me.
Yeah. Hey, Danielle, my internet is kind of freezing up for some reason today, and so I don't know what's going on with my internet. But so I'll try to have you back on again sometime, but it starts lagging out on me. I don't know what's wrong with it, but you're kind of breaking up, and I think it's on my end. So anyways, guys, I have all of our links for Danielle for YouTube and Instagram is down below if you guys want to go follow her and check out the cool stuff she finds at yard sales. Do you have any final thoughts before we let you go, Danielle?
No, just, if you love reselling like I do, just keep on hunting for this stuff, save it from going in the garbage somewhere, because there's somebody out there that's surely looking for it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey guys, go ahead and follow our guests. All the links are going to be down below for YouTube and Instagram. And so I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 4:00. I have American Arbitrage will be here all the way from Utah. He'll be here tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I will see you guys then. I just wanted to say happy birthday to Jennifer Hayes is in the chat, and I just wanted to say go ahead and follow our guests. All the links are going to be down below. Jennifer Hayes says hit the like button. So thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow on Friday. And if I don't see you then, you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.